Welcome to episode 34 of Regen Rovers, where today I'm going to be doing a 4th season review video, and it's a very positive review compared to previous seasons because we have got promoted from the Vanarama National League South as champions. Fabulous achievement. If you've missed the last few episodes, then I've already spoiled it for you. Why haven't you watched them? No, I know some of you guys will just be watching the review videos to see how I'm getting on year by year, but wow, what a season it was. Now, as usual, I'm going to turn my face off for these review videos so you can see things in more detail. This is just the home screen, and as you can see, that's the league table on the left hand side. 78 points, 2 ahead of Woking. It was a very close season at the top of the table, as you know. You can see we rose up the league gradually in the second half of the season and eventually managed to get to first place with 3 games to go. Top goal scorer was Luke Storer, our guy on loan from Northampton Town. We'll have to see if we can get hold of him again, maybe on loan, or perhaps Northampton Town will actually release him. His contract's running out in June. I would have thought they'd give him a new contract considering he's had a good season with me. I don't really know why they wouldn't give him another chance. Danny Bai was our highest average rating. He was incredible at the back for us at times. Brilliant defender, very high average rating. He scored a couple goals and got 1 assist. 7 man of the match awards this season as well. Sean Howcroft, most assists. Superb season from him on the right wing back role. As someone said in a previous video, he was like our Victor Moses, wasn't he? Bombing down that right hand side, although he is left footed. So he's more of an inverted wing-back, I guess. Luke Storer actually managed to get the best pass completion. Danny Bai, most man of the matches. Greg Winter and Charlie Lost with the most yellow cards there, as you can see. And Ulukunle, Mills and Marlowe all picked up a red card this year. Finances is looking okay, I think. And with us getting promoted, I would hope that they'll be improved even further. It is basically because of our chairman giving us lots of money. He's just pumping 60k in when need be, or 100k into the club if necessary. So that may be the reason why. If we look at income this season, you can see 154 grand from gate receipts. It's not bad going. Match day income, lots of money there. Expenditure wise, loan repayments, that's for the stadium that we are purchasing. Now, it is brilliant that we've managed to get promoted, and the fact that we're moving into a new stadium for the 5th season, it makes it even more special. The only problem is it probably isn't big enough for the conference, for the National League Premier, and it will have to be expended straight away, I guess. So we'll have to see what happens there. You can actually see we did get an average attendance this season of 507 people, the 13th highest in the league. We got the 5th highest number of goals, 65 scored. We got the best defence in the league this year, only conceded 35 goals in 42 games. That is really good. Mainly thanks to Sivzelis in goal, pulling off some cracking saves at times. 18th highest yellow cards, so disciplinary record is pretty impressive. We did get the 10th highest red cards, but it's not too bad. 2 red cards in 1 season. Not bad at all. Now, before I move further on, I've put a link in the description below to my Patreon. For those of you that don't know what Patreon is, it's a way to support your favourite YouTubers or streamers, content creators, by donating money every month. And just as a thank you for their hard work, I guess. I set this up previously for my emulating series. Those of you that have been around a while would know all about my emulating series. And that will be coming back soon. Those of you that really love my emulating series, don't worry. In the new year, I'm going to be doing another series where you can sign up. You can use Patreon to guarantee your place in the series. So I'll probably release details of that over the Christmas period at some point. So I'll be doing the first one on FM17 in January. It's difficult. I'll be honest, I've only been doing Regen Rovers because it's been difficult to find the time to do other things like experiments, and I did a few tutorials obviously when FM17 came out, so I've got them out the way and they're done and up on my channel. But I did want to start making experiments, but it's finding the time and the motivation to do that when I'm just so in love with Regen Rovers and you guys are really enjoying it. But I know there's people out there that probably aren't watching Regen Rovers and would rather be making other things, but you guys have been so supportive. You deserve to have Regen Rovers out every day, every other day, as much as possible, as much as I physically can do it. Obviously I do work full time during the day, but I'm doing Regen Rovers in my spare time. It's a fabulous hobby. I'm really enjoying playing Football Manager this year and enjoying creating content. But if you want to say thank you and support me monetary wise, if you're able to, obviously, this is just optional. It's completely up to you. So please don't feel you have to. But if you do want to contribute via Patreon, I know there's some of you already do, because of the emulating series, but if you want to change your reward to something else, like Regen Rovers season ticket, I've called this, I will put your name at the end of every Regen Rovers video in like a credits screen at the end. Like I said, it really is an optional thing for you guys to do, but if you do fancy supporting me, I will pump the money back into the channel. I want to improve my videos all the time, get better hardware to improve my videos, better software to get better at video editing and thumbnail editing, etc. You know, I do want to get better, and that's the purpose of this Patreon, essentially, to help me in my YouTube venture. And it will pay for the odd frivolous spend, maybe for a meal out for me and Jenny. Anyhow, back to our review then, our 4th season review. This is the team, the winning team, the legends of Regen Rovers have got us promoted for the first time this series. We're going up to the Vanarama Premier. I will be holidaying a few days ahead so we can see who's won the playoffs and what the league looks like that we will be taking part in next season. But let's have a look at player statistics first. So appearances wise, Danny By actually made the most appearances, 46 starts, 1 sub appearance. Charlie Lofts was ever present at the back as well. Adam Fox was pretty much ever present at the back alongside Halcroft and Sivzelis as well. It helped having a solid defensive partnership trio at the back because they knew who they were playing with, they got used to each other. We conceded very few goals this season as a result of that, and Sivzelis obviously commands a lot of confidence at the back as well, in the back line. The average ratings of Lofts and Fox wasn't very good, but I think that's just as a result of the tactic I use. It just doesn't allow them to get good average ratings. They did play well though, despite the fact you look at them, you think they only got 6.75, 6.68 average rating. Danny By, of course, was stupendous, but the other two, quite poor average ratings. But they did play well generally. It just didn't really replicate via the average rating statistic on the game. We do have a few centre-backs, as you can see here. Wilson, Ulukunli, Holmes are all ready to step in and play. But they didn't need to, because what was the point? I had such a solid back line, there was really no need to play anyone else regularly. Goals wise, Stora was our top goal scorer, 16 goals this season in 29 starts and 10 sub appearances. Darren Miller was second with 12. Jack Young got 10 goals. He actually probably had the best goal to game ratio, 10 in 20 starts and 4 sub appearances, so pretty much 1 in 2 if you exclude the sub appearances. It was a really good season for him until that injury, despite the fact he wasn't the main man for us up front for large portions of the season, even when he was fit, because Stora and Berry and Chick and Miller, they all had opportunities and they all scored in bunches, didn't they? As you can see, Bradley Berry actually got 9 goals. He wasn't as good as last season. Towards the end of the season, he was just smashing every shot over the bar, which was very frustrating. Brady Chick was pretty good, 16 starts, 19 sub appearances. He started to come into the team more and more towards the end of the season, 8 goals. He was quite important for us. He got a decent average rating and a few assists there as well, as you can see. Christian Marlowe was definitely our best central midfielder this year, 7.0 average rating, 7 goals, 4 assists. Few of them were penalties, but he played very well, and he scored that absolute cracker against Willstone on the last day of the season, of course. Despite Orford only coming into the team for the last few games of the season, he managed to get 3 goals in 4 starts and 6 sub-appearances. That is not bad going at all for him. Danny By, Mills and Halcroft also managed to get 2 goals each. Pitt, Gordon and Latham managed to get 1 each. But it was really all about the strikers this year. This tactic enables the strikers to get goals. There's not many goals from elsewhere in the team, really. Assists-wise, Halcroft was sensational down the right, as we know. 12 assists from him, cutting in from that right-hand side, putting crosses in with his left foot, or even using his weaker right foot at times. 6.99 average rating as well. Who is your player of the series, guys? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll put a poll on the Regen Rovers Twitter as well for you. But let me know in the comment section below. As usual, this is the question I ask at the end of the season. Who was your man of the series, your player of the series? Some of you might actually say Halcroft, because he was really good down that right hand side. Darren Miller was a good all-round striker for us. His average rating was alright, not amazing, it was below 6.9, but 12 goals and 10 assists. He contributed 22 goals this season combined, which is more than any other player. Storer contributed 19. Miller was very important for us. He was good at taking the free kicks. He scored a couple of cracking free kicks. He set up a few opportunities with free kicks as well. And up front, running the line as well as an advance forward, going out wide, putting crosses in. He played very well for us, and he's a good signing. Everything is going down for some reason. I don't know why that is. He probably won't be good enough for the division above, but I think, he's going to be around for another two years, so maybe he'll just turn into a backup striker. I guess we'll find out over time. Brady Chick also managed to get 5 assists. Alex Pitt, Warren, Marlowe got 4 each. Storer, Mills, Young, Fox and Bradley Berry got 3 assists each, and Winter Woodland got 2, and then 1 assist for Holmes by Orford, Joe Gordon and Taylor Coker. Average rating wise then, Danny Bye was top by a country mile, 7.17. It was a superb year for him, his first year at the club. We signed him on a free from Brighton, remember, and he's just slotted in beautifully, and he could be a possible candidate for future captain. To be honest, I'm probably going to let Alex Pitt go. He's not done it at all for us in his first season at the club, and I don't think he's good enough for the next level. Danny Bye, 13 on leadership, could be captain. Dion Mills is currently vice captain, but he's not quite as good with his 12, and I don't know if he's ever going to be a main man in the team going forwards. Grant Waugh actually managed to get the second highest average rating. He only played 4 games, our comedic goalkeeper at times, but he played 1 league game where he conceded a goal and got a decent average rating in that game, and played 1 FA Cup game and a couple of FA Trophy games, and he played in the under-23s as well this year, as you can see there, conceding 11 goals in 7 games. We kind of have to keep him as a backup, don't we? Just because it's just something about Grant Waugh. I don't think anyone's ever really fallen in love with Stephen Bradley, who perhaps is the more solid option as backup keeper to Grant Waugh, but no one really likes him. None of you guys really are a fan of Stephen Bradley, I don't think. You'd much rather Grant Waugh in there, or even Owusu being there as backup goalkeeper. There's certain players that you just fall in love with, either it be because of their name or what they do on the pitch, or because they've just been around from the start. You kind of fall in love with certain players, don't you? Sivs Ellis, another fabulous season from him. 7.0 average rating from 41 games is very impressive for a goalkeeper, because goalkeepers tend to get quite low ratings, I've noticed, on the last couple of Football Managers. But Sivs Ellis has been fabulous in goal. Things are going up for him. He's improving. He's certainly got the potential to be a decent player. He's got the potential to be a National League South goalkeeper in the future, apparently, which is the level we're at the moment. But he has been superb. He pulls off some unbelievable saves at times. He really does. And he's contracted to the club for another 2 years. He's only earning 20 quid a week. He gets 50 quid when he plays, so he'll be playing every week, so that's 70 in total. If he then gets a clean sheet, he gets another 50 quid. So it really isn't very much money for this guy, considering he's our main man at the back, and he has to stay as our main man next season. There's no reason to drop him and bring in a better goalkeeper. He deserves his chance in the next league up. If it doesn't work out for him, then I guess we can bring someone else in. But he certainly deserves to keep his place for the time being. Christian Marlowe, also 7.0 average rating, really good season for him. Luke Storer, 6.99, Halcroft, 6.99. Brady Chick, Latham and Young all got 6.9. Latham only played 3 times this season though in the first team. He's been knocked out by Brady Chick, I guess. Knocked down the pecking order. Probably won't be around for very much longer. You guys let me know, who do you want to... if there's anyone you really want me to keep, despite the fact they're not really good enough for the team, then like the likes of Gareth Sheriff or Joe Gordon, those players that have been around since the start but aren't getting game time anymore, probably are never going to be superstars for us. Look at Gareth Sheriff, he's not progressed, he's just stayed the same since he was about 16 years old, and he's 20 years old now, and I don't think he's really going to go anywhere. Same with Joe Gordon, to be honest. Where is he? Here he is. 20 years old now. He always seems to do quite well in the under-23s. He puts in about 1 or 2 good performances a year. His FA Cup performance was fabulous. But other than that, he's not really done anything this year. Much fewer appearances from him this season as well. But just let me know who you want me to keep around regardless of whether they're good enough or not. And also let me know who was your player of the season. Probably one of these guys at the top. Bias, Zelis, Marlowe, Storer, Howcroft possibly. So moving on to some inbox notifications that we've received. You can see this is the best ever Regen Rovers 11 so far in the series. It's still got the old formation that I used at the beginning. I don't know why it hasn't updated yet. Maybe this is the formation I still have used in the most games so far, but hopefully it updates to something a bit more recent next year. Grant Moore is the goalkeeper. Zelis is on the bench now. We've got Yadom still at right back, who's still at the club in the under-23s. I don't know if anything is going to ever happen with him. I've tried training him up as a right wing back. He's not really good enough for that role. Liam Simmons is still in the all-time best 11. He's at Falkirk. He's in the under-20s. He's been dropped to the under-20s where he's played plenty of games for them and didn't get a very good average rating. I think it was the right decision to let him go. Adam Fox is actually in the all-time best 11 alongside Will Carter, one of our under-23 players as well, who he's not great, is he? I don't know why he's our left back, but I suppose there's not really anyone else to go there at the moment. Sheriff's in defensive midfield alongside Dion Mills, who's made 160 appearances for the club. He's only 2 behind Jack Young, and he will overtake Jack Young surely at the start of next season. Although Jack Young doesn't have that long left to go, 3 to 5 months. Hopefully he'll be back towards the start of the season. Things are going down for him. Pace and acceleration have dropped. Still got 13 on finishing. Will he be able to cut it at the division above? Because technically, he shouldn't even be good enough for this level. He's only really good enough for regional Premier Division football. But he scores goals. However, will he score goals when he comes back from injury? I guess we'll find out. Leon Thompson is the right winger in this best ever 11. He only made a couple of appearances this season. In fact, 1 appearance off the bench. For the under-23s, doesn't really fit into our tactic, so he's not going to fit into the under-23s tactic either. I don't really know what to do about him. He can play box-to-box midfielder now because I've actually trained him up as one. But he's not actually very good at it. But our first ever youth candidate that broke into the first team, our only youth candidate that has broken into the first team, it doesn't look like he's going to develop into anything, I'm afraid. Woodland's in there as well. He didn't really play many games this season. We signed midfielders that knocked him out the team. But to be honest, Alex Pitt wasn't very good. Batchelor wasn't particularly good. Marlowe was, alongside Mills towards the end of the season. Woodland, current ability-wise, according to my assistant, shouldn't really be anywhere near the first team, I don't think. But I quite like some of his attributes. He works hard, he's good. He's got good teamwork, he's got okay passing, first touch, free kicks as well. He'll probably stay at the team next season. I don't know what will happen to him long term though. Doddington's still in here as well, despite only ever really playing 1.5 seasons for us. I suppose he was here for most of the second season. Moved to Grays, and he's been pretty awful the last couple of years, looking at his average ratings. He's only been coming off the bench for Grays Athletic. So he wanted big-time football. He wanted to move on and make a career of it, but he was never going to be good enough. End of season awards then. Now, this is a real surprise because Jack Young got second place, only 4% behind Danny Bye. So Danny Bye, player of the season according to the fans on the game. You guys might decide differently in the Twitter poll. I would agree with that. Danny Bye was our best player this season, quite clearly. But Jack Young second. Now, I did joke about him being like an honorary player of the season. Maybe the fans on the game have done that. He is a favoured personnel at the team, so I don't know if that has an impact. I suppose he had a good goal-scoring run, won in almost 2 games when he was fit, and got an okay average rating in 6.9. That's not bad going at all. So maybe that's how he got second place. Lee Zelis third, definitely deserved that as well. Lee Orford, signing of the season. He was signed towards the end of the season, but regarded as our best signing of the year. Don't know how he's above Danny Bye, but I don't know if that's because Danny Bye came in at the end of last season. Danny Bye is actually young player of the season and player of the season, as you'd expect. He's actually quite young. He's not really young, but he's 19. And he only turned 19 3 months ago, so he's actually one of the younger players in the first team squad now, because we do have 20, 21-year-olds in the team now with experience. But so he really does have the potential to go very far. He's very well suited to National League South football. He's pretty much our only player that is suited to this level, and probably the only player that can really cut it in the division above. I guess we'll find out though. Goal of the season though, Joe Gordon. It's nice for him to get an award. It was in the FA Cup against Chippenham Town. You'll probably remember me showing this goal. It was a cracker. Let's look at this then. Miller headed into Marlowe, who placed it into Gordon, who just slammed it home. It was a beautiful finish, first time hit into the back of the net. I kind of prefer Marlowe's, I think, at the end of the season, but that was a really good goal from Joe Gordon. Maybe that was slightly more technical. So this is our season review. You can see we lost in the third qualifying round of the FA Cup. Still can't make it to that first round proper, can we? Lost in the first round of the FA Trophy, but first in the Vanarama National League South. It still seems so strange looking at that. I can't quite believe it. Match of the season, 4-1 win against Oxford City. Moment to forget, the 2-1 defeat against Woking. Luckily, we didn't get any thrashings this year. We only lost 2 league games. The worst defeat really was against Dulwich Hamlet in the FA Trophy first round replay. Scarce few pundits will have been brave enough to pluck Regen Rovers from mid-table obscurity in pre-season and mark them out for bigger and better things. But the younglings did exactly that, surprising everyone as they marched to a quite remarkable league title success. That is a quite wonderful quote, I must say. Moving on. Eddie Mitchell, this is his end of season confidence review. Now I do actually need to get a new contract, quite sharpish. So please give me one. New contract. There we go. We agree that you deserve greater job security. Therefore you will shortly be offered a new contract. Thank you very much, Eddie. I do need a new one. Yearly training summary. I don't really look at training a huge amount. I do sort out training. Concerning performances is Jack Young because he's injured, of course. Pre-season, as always, I will select 5 weeks before, and I've going to be offered a new contract very soon. And here we go. Accept current vision and they will give me a new contract. See, they've pumped some more money into the club. Regen Rovers will remain uncategorised after an audit of the existing setup of the youth setup. We need to improve the facilities, we really do. They're offering me 450. I could just go down to the lowest, but that wouldn't be particularly realistic. It would help the club in a way, but just think about it. You wouldn't. How would I live off £130 a week? I could arguably have another job, I guess, at this level because it is part-time. If I go down to my current wage, 350, then we'll stick with that. And I think that's fair enough. I'm happy to suggest that. I could save the club money by going down lower, I know, but I just don't feel that's a realistic thing to do. You wouldn't do that as a human being. Unless you're rich and you're a millionaire and you work for free for a charity or volunteer at the National Trust or something, then if someone offers you money, you don't lower it. I mean, I have lowered it. I've lowered it down to 350, but I can't go too low because that just seems a bit silly. And I've accepted it. I only did 1 year. I could have increased it to 2 years. I should have done that. Never mind. I can ask for another contract next year. I'm sure they want to keep me. Even if I get relegated, they'll want to keep me, I think. One thing that I have been tempted to ask for is to become a professional club. Now, on one hand, I'll have more money to spend. We'll be able to offer full-time contracts. We'll be able to attract players from other countries. On the other hand, it could completely destroy the finances of the club because we'll be paying more money out. We might not be bringing in enough money to really be a professional club. I might not even be able to become a professional status if I ask, because he keeps rejecting it. I think for the time being, I'm going to leave it as it is. He might automatically change it to professional anyway. If you go up to League 2, you have to become a professional club, I do believe. And at the moment, we've got plenty of money to spend on wages. The squad is decent. The tactics working well. Even by going up, it's going to be difficult next year, but perhaps we can survive. The aim is to survive next year, of course. So let's have a look at the under-23s and under-18s then. You can see here, Down Ormsby has been pretty good in the under-23s. 10 goals apparently this season. I don't really know how it adds up. Like, you've got non-competitive, you've got the under-23s competitive league. That's 16 goals, but I think some of those goals here, the 10 goals, it includes this. So non-competitive is under-23s matches plus friendlies, and it equates to 10 goals. He scored 6 competitive goals, but 10 overall if you include the friendlies. I think that's how it works. It's a bit confusing. Anyway, he's done really well once again at youth level. Last season he couldn't, when I did put him in the first team, he wasn't good enough. He scored 1 goal last season in 8 starts and 12 sub-appearances. This year he hasn't played a single competitive game in the first team. Do I give him another chance? Probably not, because he won't be good enough for the level above, surely. he's just really quite prolific at under 23 level. Same with Dale Wall, he's much younger, perhaps that has much better prospects than him. He scored quite a few goals for the under 23s. I did give him a chance last season, at the end of last season, only a couple games, and he didn't play very well. He might develop into an okay striker. Technically, he's as good as Jack Young, if you believe the star system at all. But he is our 8th best striker, according to our assistant manager. Can play right wing as well. He's a decent looking player, but probably not good enough for the first team. Paul Latham, of course, has had first team football and scored a few goals at under 23 level. He's just a big target man basically for us, and he's probably not got a future at the club. Gareth Pointing will be here for at least another year. He has scored 4 goals, 4 competitive goals, although that's for the under 18s. He's not really played much for the under 23s this season. The thing with him is he looks awful on paper, and to be honest, this season he's not been very good at all, whereas previous seasons he has been quite good. Well, he's not got a future at the club either, has he? Assist-wise, Paul Latham has done very well, apparently. I don't really know what to believe with these. I don't know if it's add in the first team appearances up and all the non-competitive appearances, or if it's just the under 23s appearances. If you look here, 23 plus 6 sub-appearances. Here, non-competitive 23 plus 6 sub-appearances, 7 goals. Bit confusing, but he's got assists anyway, as you can see there. Average rating-wise, Dan Ormsby is actually top. It's all the strikers that have performed quite well. Goalkeepers as well, Owusu in goal. There's players here that I feel I can keep around for a while, for the time being. There's a lot of players that I probably should release at the end of this season. Aidan Markland's still here. He just looks so bad, but he won that first Player of the Year award, didn't he? If we just look at the club, go to general, you can see he's on the favoured personnel list because he won Player of the Year. Of course, Jack Young is as well, as is Danny Bai for this year's performance and winning Player of the Year. Basically, if you win Player of the Year, you got on the favoured personnel list. But look, I'm on the list. I am on the list. That is brilliant to see. I'm actually going to ask if I can start a coaching licence thing. Brilliant. There we go. I'm going to get another coaching badge under my belt because I'm pretty awful statistically, as you can see there, attribute-wise. My preferred formation has changed, which is good news. And of course, I've got 1 more year on this new contract. Next year, I'll try and go for a 2-year contract, I think, which is what I did previously. I just completely forgot. I hope that doesn't bite me in the bum. You can see my career stats, bottom right-hand corner. I've played 191 games. I've won 60, drawn 82. I've only lost 49 games. We've just drawn so many, which is why the win percentage is only 31%. Minus 4 goal difference as well. We're starting to turn that around. Lots of goals conceded. Anyway, back we go to the under 23s. I don't know if there's anyone else here that will be breaking into the first. I don't think there's anyone here that will break into the first team. We had high hopes for Mister at one point, didn't we? Chris McDonald, from our first ever youth intake. He's now 19 years old and hasn't really progressed at all since then. People like Oliver Sparks that we signed last season, but he didn't play this year because he doesn't fit into our system and he can't play left wing back. Well, he sort of can, but look at his marking and tackling ability. It's just awful. He can cross the ball, and that's about it. There's other players like Oliver Young, a right wing back that we signed. Probably won't be. I've just signed so many players over this series, haven't I? Most of them just won't be good enough for the first team, and some of them I'm just keeping around in the hope that they will be good enough, but they're not going to be good enough. Players like Luke Kitely, they're good at one thing, crossing, or Sam Palmer, he's good at teamwork. They're good at one thing. We need players in the first team. The players are sort of a bit more well-rounded, aren't they, nowadays? We can't just rely on one decent attribute from a player. Someone like Matthew Cash, who's got good teamwork in passing, but he needs to be good at other things as well to really progress as a player. Dr. Jones. Now, this is a player I'm surely going to have to keep around. He's someone that hasn't improved since that first season, but he's living off 1 goal. That 1 goal at the end of the first season. He didn't even play that well in that first season. 6.70 average rating, 4 goals, 2 assists. It wasn't even that impressive, but that 1 goal has just kept him at the club as a legend. In that second season, he was actually a bit better, to be fair. 3 goals, 1 assist, slightly better average rating. And in the third season, last season, he did still play a few games, which is quite funny when you look at him. He's not good enough. He's only got, his best attribute is work rate of 13. And how is he going to be a decent attacking midfielder when he's got 6 on passing and 7 on vision? It's just, It's just not good enough, I'm afraid. Under 18s, it's a similar story, really. When you look at them, there's our youth intake is never good enough to create players that are good enough for the first team. There's no one in there. David Griffiths is the best player this year to come through. He's actually as good as Olukunle though, apparently, 1 star. So we'll put him in the under 23 team for now, because he might develop. I'm so positive, I'm so optimistic that one of our players will develop into something good, when realistically they're not, are they? Someone like Max Tuck, a legend with 1 on pretty much everything. Look, heading's going up. It's going up from 1. Determination's going up from 5. You know, he's going to be a superstar one day, this guy. We really do need better youth facilities, surely. Come on board. Improve youth facilities. Increase youth level. Let's go for that. Nope. Oh, they've agreed to improve the youth facilities. Now, this has been cancelled about 3 times, hasn't it? So look, we'll have to wait and see if it actually goes through this time. I'm starting a new coaching course, and the youth facilities are going to be built between July and October. It's going to happen quite soon. It's going to cost quite a lot of money, so we'll have to see if it actually goes through. But we have to be improving the club as we go along if we want to do anything at this with the club. In the future, how are we gonna? We're not gonna survive if we've got no facilities. It's playoff final day. Woking versus Havant Waterlooville in the final. Don't know who I'd rather face next year. Well, have no power, do I, to decide. It's actually going to be Havant Waterlooville, who managed to win 3-1 against Woking in the final. So Woking have fallen apart at the end of the season. They haven't managed to get promoted. They took a 1-goal lead as well, but Havant Waterlooville were just too powerful in the end. So the season finishes like so. Regen Rovers promoted as champions on 78 points. Havant Waterlooville promoted via the playoffs on 75 points. Maidenhead, Willstone and Salisbury FC relegated. That's a bit of a shock, Maidenhead and Willstone going down, really. And we've paid 9.75k after winning the National League South. Let's have a massive bender in McDonald's. Ben Dennis, player of the season. Let's look at this guy then. Maybe it's someone we could sign. Doesn't look that amazing. He's got decent off the ball. Physically quite good. I suppose he's a good player. He's just got 8 on finishing, and I like my strikers to be able to finish. Otherwise I just get annoyed. He's on loan from Shrewsbury anyway. And manager of the season. I mean, surely I have to win manager of the season. I got the most points there. I'm going to vote for the Maidstone United guy because he's the least likely to challenge me. New sponsorship deals once again for Regen Rovers after getting promoted. Bit of extra money. Another 200k pumped into the team. I think, we paid a load of ground maintenance again. I'm going to have to do a lot of scouting to try and find and improve the team. I'm always going to be trying to improve this squad, no matter how good our players have played this season. I don't want to completely overhaul the team though. I don't find that's ever a good idea when you get promoted, because you've got so many new players, they can't blend together. If you stick with the same basis, then it can work out well. Now this guy this guy looks very good. Martin Sullivan plays for Nuneaton and Wales, but I very much doubt. Yeah, I don't. He's someone I'll keep an eye on because he does look very good. Now we do want to look at the other leagues. Pitt's about to be released. Alex Pitt, I don't think he's good enough for us. There's nothing there that really adds to the team apart from leadership, and you can't just be in the team to be a captain. He's done nothing for us this season. That's a bit harsh. 6.86 average rating is not bad going, I don't think. 1 goal, 4 assists, couple yellow cards, 81% pass completion is not too bad at all. But I want more, and I think he's going to want a lot of money to stay. For example, off a new contract. He doesn't want a huge amount. He only wants an appearance fee of 300 quid. Maybe we should keep him the time being, because I can always just release him if he's on this contract, or offer him a proper contract if he actually starts to play well. £275 a match. And if he's not going to be playing, then he's not going to cost any money, is he? But I can keep him there in case I do need him. Let's go with that. He obviously realises he's not as good as he originally thought he was. We can keep him there for now, just as backup. Anyway, let's look at what's been going on in the other divisions. And although, actually, first of all, let's look at stats of our division. You can see 5th highest number of goals. We had a good winning, drawing, unbeaten streak towards the end of the season, as you can see there. Games scored in a row, 17. Scored in the last 17 games. It's very impressive. Player overview. None of our players featured in the top goal scorers list. You can see Cameron Ebbott was the top one. Is there any regens on here? No. Ben Dennis got the best average rating. We've already had a look at him, and most man of the matches. Pass completion. Spencer Drury, we've already seen him at Hendon as well. He's a good player. He definitely is a good striker, and he can play attack and midfield as well. He's pacey, good acceleration, he can finish, his composure off the ball, all 11. First touch 11, anticipation 10. He's a poacher, isn't he? How much would they want for him? I want 5k. I certainly could sign this guy. He's an option, isn't he? And he technically is better than our other strikers. Let's see if they accept that. 2.5k. We can definitely afford him. Would he be good enough for the level above, though? That's the question. Because he only scored 7 goals this season. I just feel there's something there. He can fit into our system where we play poachers. It was at Norwich. It was released and signed by Hendon on a free. I think I could get the best out of Spencer Drury. We'll see. Let's see how much he wants, how much money he wants to come to us. First of all, anyway, let's go up the divisions. We'll go up to the Conference North, which was won by Halifax Town, and Stockport County were also promoted. So those are the two teams we're going to have to face. We will have to face in the division above. Blythe Spartans, Guiseley and Workington were relegated from that division. Going up then, yes, this has been decided. Accrington Stanley were champions quite clearly. Aldershot Town also promoted. They've got a decent reputation, so it's good to avoid them. Bromley, Hampton and Richmond, Nuneaton and Dover Athletic were relegated. Bromley only just going down. Nuneaton relegated. Maybe we can sign that really good guy from Nuneaton after all. Teams to watch out for next year. Dagenham and Redbridge, I would say. Grimsby. Eastleigh are always tough. They've got a bit of money. York, they've recently been in the Football League, haven't they? Ebbsfleet will be tough because, you know, if you think about Ebbsfleet, they've got money, they're a strong team, and they finished 15th. We are very likely to be in a relegation battle. Tranmere Rovers all the way down there as well. Wow. Sky Bet League 2 hasn't been decided yet. We need to continue a bit further into the future to see that one. So we might as well continue a little bit into the future. So Spencer Drury wants £475 a week. That's a lot. Going to get rid of these things. Happy to pay £400 a week. Even 425. 2-year contract. If he doesn't work out, then it's a bit of a gamble, isn't it? 425. He's happy with that. Let's accept that. I need to compare him. If we compare with Jack Young, he's going to be better than Jack Young, I think, at most things. You look at the average along here, 6'4", 8'7", 10'9". The things that a striker needs to be good at. Let's put him down as advanced forward, which is Jack Young's preferred role. Finishing 11, Jack Young's got better, 13. Composure's much better though, as is off the ball. Anticipation's the same, work rate's slightly better, acceleration is much better, balance is slightly worse though. He's a good player, Spencer Drury. He's a couple years younger than Jack Young as well. I think it's worth a punt. He could do quite well at the level above. I think he's better than what we have. Pitt has agreed a new deal with the club then, so he's just going to be on a non-contract like a lot of our players. Highest earner at the club is Danny Bye, but he deserves that money. Lofts is next. We've got then everyone else is under 200 quid a week. And there's a lot of players on non-contracts, some of which just don't play very many games. So, for example, I've moved Jack Young to this non-contract. He's only £550 a week when he plays, which is a hell of a lot. However, he's not playing, he's injured, and when he comes back from injury, I'll probably offer him a proper contract, which is much lower. That's a bit mean in a way, but he wanted a new contract, and he was fine with a play-as-you-pay contract, despite the fact he's not going to be playing for a while. Quite strange from him, really. But he's obviously happy with his plumbing job. He doesn't really need a huge amount of money from Regen Rovers. There we go. League 2 player final is about to be played between Luton Town and Blackpool. I assume it's going to be over the weekend. And here we go. Spencer Drury is going to be signing for us 2.5k. That's fine. We've got money to spend. We should spend the money. I might find some other strikers in pre-season, of course, that are better than him. But it's all about improving this squad at the moment, isn't it? FA Cup final won by Stoke, beating Liverpool 3-2 in the final. Just want to look at the most recent winners. There's been some interesting winners, as you can see there. Man United Spurs in that first season. Watford, West Brom and Stoke. Great to see some different winners there. And the League Cup has been won by Arsenal, Chelsea, Arsenal and Southampton. They won on penalties against Crystal Palace this year. I am manager of the season. Fabulous news. That's pleasing. Win ratio of 45% this year, which is actually worse than the third best, Lee Bradbury of Havant and Waterlooville, who were also promoted. But I deserved that, didn't I? I really did. What an achievement that was. I got 6 points But 6 people voted for me, I guess. I've just realised I didn't actually need to look at the League 2 playoff final. I just wanted to see who was relegated. Anyway, Luton Town have won the playoffs. Gateshead and Wrexham are the teams we're going to be facing next year. Why was I worried about the playoff final? It doesn't actually matter. We're taking on Gateshead and Wrexham next year, which is fine, I think. They're not as good as some of these teams in this division. Carlisle, Plymouth, Bristol Rovers and Luton Town promoted then from League 2. The League 1 hasn't been played yet, and I guess the Championship won't have been either. Oh, it has. That's very odd. So League 2 and the Championship has been played, but League 1 hasn't. Anyway, Premier League, it has finished. Man United champions. Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea also getting Champions League football. West Ham, Brighton and Bournemouth relegated. So, that's the end of today's Season 4 overview. Thank you for the support on this Season 4. As always, we'll be doing some polls on Twitter to decide the kits for Season 5 and some other things like Player of the Season, your Player of the Season, for example. So head over to Regen Rovers on Twitter if you haven't done so already. If you want to support me through Patreon, then you're welcome to. That'd be very, very, very much appreciated. Please smash that like button as always. Let me know who was your player of the season in the comment section below. Until next time, enjoy Football Manager 2017, and I will see you at the start of Season 5 in the Vanarama National League Premier.